You hear me?
All right. So we know you by Yams
Hmm.
on Instagram, but
Hmm.
tell everybody your name and a little bit about you.
My name is Yamarie. I am a photographer from New York. I moved out here in LA, 2019 February. With no plan, I just like left. I'm like, oh, toodaloo, I'm leaving. I'm going to LA. My parents were like, how are you just gonna get up and
Are you
go?
crazy? Yeah.
Yeah, like, what are you gonna do? Like, where are you gonna stay? How are you gonna make money? I'm like, I'll figure it out, because I had saved money over there while staying with my sister. I was doing like concerts, so I was working at Barclays, and
Mm,
being that it's a union, you know, the pay is great.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, this is my plan. I'm gonna just save for like 5 months. I didn't go out or anything. I moved out here.
So you just saved up yourself
Yeah, I saved like 5 grand.
and then just came out.
I came out here and I just like the first, I think it was like 5 to 6 months.
So what were you doing at the time?
What do you mean?
Back in New York, were you doing photography?
Um,
Or was it more of like a hobby?
no, I would do it from time to time, but like those 5 months, I just wanted to work.
And how old were you when you decided to move?
All right, so I'm 30 now. I think I was like 27, 28.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I came here to visit before, and I'm like, oh, this feels like I should be living.
Yeah.
It suits me because I'm super calm. New York is like
Go, 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 go.
go, go, go,
Yeah.
go, and like family and being surrounded by 1,000 people in the train, the buses where you're walking. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's between that and then having all your family too. You have to go to everything.
Yeah,
They
juggle.
pop in, check in.
Yeah. Yep.
It's hard sometimes to get your own stuff going when you're right next door, or
Yeah,
right
I
down
mean,
the
I
street.
feel like comparing LA work and New York work, I
Yeah.
definitely get out a lot more out here
Really?
versus New York. Like I just completed 3 years here in February, but I feel like I've gotten way more opportunities out here than I did in New York, which I always thought I would make it out from my city, but it doesn't always happen that way
Yeah.
for everybody. So
Why do you think that you're doing more here than you would there?
I really don't know, because I have some connections in New York, but I feel like they weren't like I would ask for help,
Hmm.
but it was more like, oh, become this person, do what this person is doing. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Just following someone else's
Yeah, I
footsteps or
don't
template.
like. There was a A&R from a music. What's that music? What was it? Damn, what's his name? But whatever. He worked for a company,
Hmm.
and he was an A&R. And I remember if I could ask, like I asked him, hey, can I be, like, even if it's from time to time working with him to do some type of photography, just to get my name out there and connections.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, why don't you do what this person is doing? And I'm like, I'm not going to take
Right.
my phone out and be like, oh, hey,
Hmm.
I'm with, I don't know, Drake, and we're here. Like, I don't
That's not
do
your
that.
style.
Yeah, it's not my style. Like, I just take the pictures. Thank you for working with me, and keep it moving.
Move on. What is your style of photography?
I like portraits.
Yeah.
I feel like it tells a story versus like landscape or
Yeah.
I don't know, nature photography. I can't connect with nature photography
Yeah.
versus like
You're from New York, so
portraits.
there's not much nature.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not
You
used
know
to it.
what? That's true. Or fashion too. I like
Yeah.
fashion stuff as well. But I'd say it would be portrait and fashion.
Portraits is your favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
And so is it more of the human connection or?
Yeah, because I like to connect with people, which is why I kind of feel like I struggle being in the industry, because it's frustrating communication wise when you're trying to understand what the client wants.
Mhm.
And some people, they're not really good with their words, and they kind of come off strong, and you're like, wait.
You're more of like a chill.
Yeah, I'm like, just relax.
Yeah.
What is it you're trying to go for? You know, so I'll
Yeah.
ask some questions. But sometimes, we're not meant to work with certain people.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Just in terms of like the personalities, not mixing together well.
Yeah, and you're like, because I've gotten opportunities where obviously it's paid, but they're not happy with the work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I asked you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you
So
sure,
they're not. They
you
weren't.
sure I'm the right person you're looking for?
They weren't upfront with what they wanted to begin with, because every photographer has a style for the most part.
Yeah,
Some
exactly.
kind of style.
Yeah, like me, I like natural raw.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really, if anything,
Simple.
Yeah, if anything, if I do edit, it'll be like removing blemishes.
Of course. Yeah.
But I'm not the type to make it look like you have no wrinkles or
Right.
it's everything is smooth, because that's not how we all look.
Right.
We don't look like that. Yeah.
And
It's
then-
happened
and
before.
especially sometimes with in music especially.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
I mean, it's more towards female clients versus
Right.
guys. The guys are a lot easier to work with because they don't care for that. They're just like, make me look good, or like, yeah, you can video edit whatever you want to edit. But the women, they're more specific.
So okay, so you're from New York. You came out here around 27. You were saying, right?
Age, yeah, 27,
Age
28, around there, yeah.
So what was it like growing up there and having this kind of? Did you always want to be a photographer, or was it?
Man, I had so many career.
You jump around.
Yeah.
Was it always creative, or was it just whatever you had to do?
Like, so I've always been good with kids, even as a kid. So I would babysit my nieces and my nephews when I was young. So I would be like, oh, maybe I should be a teacher and just work with kids. Then I got into junior high. I'm like, oh, maybe I should be a choreographer. Oh, maybe I should be a DJ. But like I would download all these different programs to be a DJ, and I was like, this is a lot. Like,
Maybe this isn't for me.
this is not for me.
Yeah.
And then the choreography thing was more because I used to be in like dance classes, but then I just wasn't into it anymore. The photography came into my life, I say like age 9. So my mom bought me like a point and shoot camera. And at the time I think it was a Toshiba. Do those exist anymore?
Yeah, I know. I had one too, a little silver one.
So I had a Toshiba laptop from middle school, and they had like this program called Movie Maker, Windows Movie Maker, and that's how I would start with like these little slideshows of pictures or videos that I got from the family, and I would burn it into CD. I'm like, just give it to my family members. Or if they wanted music, I would burn it into a CD for them. But
Interesting.
Yeah, point and shoot camera.
That kind of started the
Yeah.
the passion.
Yep.
Now, did you continue doing that throughout, junior high school, all that, or did you?
Yeah, it
kinda
was
let
more
go?
of like just taking pictures just to take pictures. It wasn't like, let me do it intentionally.
Yeah.
It was like pictures of my nieces or pictures of the family, but that was it until I got older. And then I got my first camera in college. So the money that they gave me, I ended up buying a Canon 60D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my first. My sister has it. I gave it to my sister.
Your first camera.
Yeah. I gave her that camera because she had a photography class, and she didn't have a camera, and I didn't want her to spend money. I'm like, go ahead. I'm going to buy me a new one anyways.
Yeah. You get an upgrade.
Yeah.
You did something nice. You get an upgrade. It's a win-win,
So now I have the 5D Mark IV. She has that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, how did you jump though from shooting family and just running around? Because it's an interesting thing. Like, at least for me, it's a very specific way I got to where I'm actually shooting other people for jobs.
Yeah.
There's a whole, it's like a long
journey.
Yeah.
So during college, I just wanted to focus on school.
Yeah.
When I graduated in 2014, I don't even know how it came about, but I met this A&R and then started working with him, and he was managing his artist at the time. And that's how it started, me being into the music industry.
So it was just like through just like
one person,
one
and then
person.
That person introduces you to, and then that's just how it is. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, this is Yams. Oh, if you need a photographer, this is Yams. She's great. So it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that you're here and you're actively working aside from the pandemic and everything else, are you back to kind of regular work, or are you?
I'm more selective on
what you do.
what I do now, yeah, or who I choose to work with. Because if I feel like if we've met before, or we did a shoot before and it didn't turn out well, I will say no. Like,
Which is pretty rare.
respectfully, yeah.
It's pretty rare because a lot of people tend to take any project that comes their way.
That was me. That's why I'm so cautious of who I work with.
So you used to take every job that came your way.
Yeah, yeah.
And why do you think
Until
you
I
did
learned
that?
the hard way, like, this is not worth it.
So why did you feel like you used to need to take every job?
Just to put my name out there.
Yeah.
It was more of like experience, putting my name out there, working with different personalities, see who I work well with,
Yeah.
things like that. So now it's easier for me to say, okay, well, if you're reaching out to me to work with your girlfriend who's a singer, I'll do it because we have a good relationship.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody that I know and I've seen that person before, or if I've worked with that person before and I know that we don't work well together,
Right.
you should get somebody else. Because I don't have the energy for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the point? Why would you put yourself in a position to like that's forcing yourself
To do it.
to work with somebody you guys don't mix. Like, it's not gonna work
Like
out.
oil and
Makes
water.
everything so
Yeah.
harder. You don't want to edit. Like, you're just like, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when you have clients like that want to work with you, but you're not sure it's the right move for you, how do you go about? I mean, it's like a hard thing to do. How do you go about not being, because you don't want to be rude, but you also don't want to be walked on.
Yeah.
How do you walk that line?
So I actually had done a shoot recently, and she was looking for this specific style. So I thought I was of understanding of it. I'm like, oh, do you like what you see on my Instagram feed?
Because this is what I do.
This is what I
Right.
do. This is the type of work. The day of the shoot, I get there. Like, I always like to get there early just so I can fill out the room, put my camera settings where they need to be, set up if I need to. So I did that. I got there early. She came in. We did a couple shots. So what I like to do is, like, when maybe like the first 30 minutes of taking pictures, I will show them, are you content with what you see? Right? So she was kind of like, like, I want it to be more filmy. I'm like, yeah, but we can do that post.
After, yeah.
Yeah, like after. But I don't know. I felt like the personality was too strong for me.
Was it the kind of person where it
like not liking what she saw on the camera, but in the camera,
then it was over.
It's a small screen, so
Right.
you can't really see.
Well, and also like if things like color processing and effects, like film effects and that kind of thing, because they're not film cameras.
I'm like, it's
don't have those anymore.
DSLR. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't be showing you the back of the camera.
Yeah. It's
So,
like, I don't.
but for them, sometimes I've worked with people before, and it's it's just their personality. There's nothing wrong with it,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
their personality. Where they, if they don't like something or they start to not like something, it just starts to go south. Like it's just not. There's nothing's gonna save it.
Yeah, it's not.
Was that the kind of the vibe?
Yes.
So it was just like.
But it was like, hey, man, you booked the studio for 2 hours. Let's just get what we can. You choose whatever pictures you want to choose. That's it. Like, I'm not going to. There's times where when I'm in situations like that, I kind of want to be like, can you get somebody else? Because I can leave right now. Like, my patience is, I don't got time for it.
Yeah.
I don't got time for it. But time was, running out. And I'm like, are we going to get this done?
Yeah.
Are you going to have somebody come in? Like, what are we doing?
Was it for something? Or was
it was
just
for content.
For content?
Yeah, it was for content. But it was super simple. So I figured, I could do the job.
Yeah.
But then it was like after she wanted it to have that film look. And I was like, that's not my work. I don't have a film camera.
Yeah.
So you came to the wrong person.
That like lo-fi look with the grain. And
Yeah,
everything. 'Cause
yeah.
you can recreate that a little
You can.
bit in it's not exactly the same, but you can do a version of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But that comes later. It doesn't come raw, like right in the
Exactly.
camera. You know what I mean? So explaining that maybe was not. And then once you're explaining, you've
It's
already.
like, what's the point?
It's already over.
It's
You've already.
yep.
You're already trying to dig yourself
So she was
out
like
somewhere.
bugging out, or like just, I don't know if it was her thinking of, oh man, this is not how, it's not going the way I thought it would be. She goes home and she texts me. She's like, oh, the pictures came out amazing, yada yada yada. But to me, I felt like she kind of said that just to make me feel good, because I already know it was going to shits.
So you think like
not to make me feel bad.
Do you think that maybe she did like it and she just was hoping, maybe she. I don't know. That's hard.
Because when you go on her page, she has a lot of filmy looks. Yeah, it's a vibe.
Yeah. Do you think that some people also, when they're on set, they're insecure? They're not gonna like anything, and then they like it later when they've seen more.
It's tricky because some people know their angles and some people don't. So you have to give direction. For me, I don't like doing the direction thing only because I feel sometimes it looks too posy.
Yeah.
Like you look kind of awkward.
when you're doing poses.
Yeah, when you're. It's just I'd rather for you to be moving around, and I snap, like, we'll get the picture that you're looking for.
Right.
Unless if you give me a reference photo, like, this is
what I'm going
like
for.
like a mood board. Yeah. But that's it. I don't really like telling people to pose unless if I already have it in mind. And sometimes it's hard to have them, depending on the pose, to have them relaxed, not to make it seem like it's a pose.
The problem with that is that sometimes they don't know how to move.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Because I've met people that just don't. So you have to pose them because otherwise they just sit and it's like, all right, move around naturally, and it's like. And you're like, okay, wait, this isn't enough. I gotta show you.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I'll have to end up showing people like, okay, do this. If they can't do it themselves.
Oh yeah, like I'll pull up a Pinterest
do what she's
picture.
doing.
Yeah. Like see.
Yeah, and then
you could do that.
That's the best way because then they at least can kind of get it.
But they can't see what you see in your head.
If they don't get it naturally,
it doesn't come out right.
Well, you'll sit there hoping they get it, but they're not gonna. So some people just don't know how to move with what they're doing. I don't. If I sit in front of a camera, I don't. I'm horrible in front of a camera.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Isn't that weird? How we could direct people?
Yeah, I know what
direct
looks.
ourselves.
What I would like to look good. I can't do it myself.
I'm the same.
So I'm not saying it from like, it's not a dig. I know what you're going through because I would be the same way. You know, that's the problem.
Yeah, I agree. But sometimes playing music too can help.
Oh yeah,
relax.
No, big time. Especially stuff that they like. I mean, it's an endless debate, like whether or not the music is for the photographer or for the model. But
I say
it definitely helps the model.
Yeah, I would say the model.
Yeah,
because it's a shoot for them, not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bigger you get, I feel like the more it becomes like, no, this is for this. I want my music.
Oh really? Oh.
I've met people that they'll be like, nope, I want to listen to this.
Okay, I mean
they throw their weight around. I can't do that, but they can.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, it depends on the person. If you outrank the person, you know,
I mean, sometimes you can play your own material.
Yeah, and
the client would like it.
If they like it, then that's even better because then you guys can start to get along a little bit.
Yep.
On a non-work
I guess it depends then.
Yeah. So, going back to like New York and stuff. When was like your first shoot out there? What were you doing around there? Because you said you were shooting like point and shoot, different little things, but did you start to develop a like for shooting music, working in music out there, or was it just all when you came out here?
Oh no, it started out there. First it was like behind the scenes stuff in music studios, and then it'll be like, oh, let's get some portraits of you outside just so you have it for your socials. But yeah, it started in New York.
All of it? Yeah.
Some of it, and then I came out here and did a little bit more.
Started to do more
out here, only because I felt like I wasn't getting what I wanted, which was to work with more artists, whether if it was in the studio or outside of the studio. Like even if it's 20 minutes of just taking pictures of Dave East on a wall or outside. Like that's it. That's all I wanted to do was just in and out. But the behind the scenes stuff in studios kind of gets boring because there's no.
Well, and it's like not your thing.
Yeah, I'm just like.
You're like a fly on the wall,
Yeah.
which can. I've seen some really amazing BTS videos, but it's still BTS video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
kind of like, I want to do something that has to do with storytelling versus, oh, they're cooking up a song and this is how the song came about. But the thing that I would like to say about being in studios is that you're able to listen to unreleased music before it comes out, if it comes out.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, smack, like
That is kind of fun.
I was there when you made this song and now it's on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. It's the same with like music videos.
Yeah.
You get to kind of be there when it's being created
before it comes out. Yeah. You're
especially
like,
if it's someone that people like get excited about, then you kind of you're like, oh, I was there. You know, there's a bit of a it's kind of fun. But I do see what you're saying because
because you can see a different side from the music artist versus being outside of the industry as a fan. Like there's two different perspectives, you know. You're like, oh, okay.
Do you find yourself being a fan of anybody, or do you kind of keep with like a strict, like kind of it's a professional situation?
I've actually worked with some of them.
The people that you
but
that you
I
like.
I just don't know how to. And I was talking to a friend of mine about this too, where I'm super humble, but sometimes being too humble can block opportunities for you because you're not putting your name out there necessarily. But I don't know how to. Like, I worked with Lucky Day, right? Who I love his music. You know, we said hi, and he said thank you for the pictures, but I don't know how to, ask, hey, can I take a photo? Like, I'm super shy and, like, very respectful with their time and space, so I don't know how to ask for a picture. They're like, yeah, you should always ask for these pictures of people that you work with just so that you can look back and say, wow, like I worked with so-and-so 5 years ago. Look back at it and just be proud of it. But
I know how you feel because I'm the same way. I don't ask for pictures either. And there's been some people we've worked with saying where it's like, oh, this would be cool to have a picture. But then they're walking off to their car. And I'm like,
and then it's like when you see videos of other artists, and whether it's on TMZ or if you're reading a magazine, and you see all these fans, hey, can I take a picture? And then when it's time for you, you're just kind of like, they go through this every day.
Yeah.
You kind of feel bad, like, they're humans, you know, they're regular people. It's just, I feel like financially it's different. There's a big difference. And they're able to, you know, fly everywhere.
Well, and it's like...
different lifestyle.
A fan is like going to take a picture because they want that memory. But they don't... They view them as this thing that they can take a picture with. You're viewing them more as someone that you're working with. Yeah, and it's different. it's like it's a little bit more awkward. You know, even if you really want one. Which I mean, I've been in that situation too.
Yeah, like I was able to work with Lil Wayne twice in the matter of a couple months.
Yeah.
Did an extra photo.
Yeah, we did once recently, and I don't see a situation where I could have asked him for a photo.
For what? For Wayne?
Just. Oh,
you see, like it's it's not saying he's not gonna take that because I'm
sure he would have.
But
there just was no moment that felt like it was appropriate to be like, hey, can I get a picture?
Yeah, because he doesn't play with his time. He comes in.
He's in and out.
In and out. He do not play.
He came in. He stayed in the limo. It was like one of those sprinters.
Yep.
For a good 30 minutes, they were hanging out.
Yep.
And then the time that it was time for him to come in, like on the dot, he got out of the car, did his thing. This was for an artist of his. So it wasn't like he was coming to hang out. I mean, he came, did it.
The same experience I got.
Immediately went and took pictures, did that. And then he left. Said thanks to everybody, and then he left.
Yeah. He's very respectful, though.
But I was like, ooh, if I could have that kind of like, you know, just show up, do it, leave, I mean, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
So at his level, I'm sure, you know, he's earned that ability. But
for sure.
I was a little bit jealous because it was like,
still, it's still like you knowing that, wow, I was able to work with Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody has to believe it, but it's like I have pictures.
Well, you have the pictures that you took.
Yeah.
So at least you have something. versus it'd be nice to get a selfie with them. Yeah, sure. But you do have your work that you did with them.
Yeah.
You're not in it, but
Yeah.
you know, it's still yours.
Yeah,
You can
it's
put it
not
on the wall.
photoshopped, okay?
You know? Yeah. I didn't just like lift it off Google
Yeah.
and say I took it.
Yeah, I took it.
It's something that you took, which is probably the best feeling.
It is. It is. Sometimes it could be super surreal. You're like, oh, I got to work with this person. Cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like the younger you were, I don't know, you was in middle school and you're rapping their songs. And then who would know, like, 10, 15 years later, you'll be, like, I would have never expected for me to work with him.
Well, I mean, when you're sitting in the car in like high school listening to Lil Wayne, you're
in your house watching MTV or whatever BT music videos, and you're like, oh, you're just there singing to it, and then you're right next to this person.
Yeah,
so
it's weird how that happens.
Yeah.
What do you think that is? Do you think that's like because people in LA always try and like say it's manifesting this or it's doing that. Do you think did you ever feel weird like when you were younger about when you listen to certain people? Did you ever picture yourself working with them for any reason, or did you just never?
I've always wondered
what it would be like.
What it would be like to work with Wayne.
Especially for you, because you've been a photographer for a long time, technically. I mean, did you ever think, oh, it'd be cool to shoot him one day, or I will shoot him one day?
No, I just always wondered how it would be to be around him. Because sometimes I feel like, the media can make people look a certain way, and you're just like, I'm sure he's not that mean.
Right.
Or not that disrespectful. And if he is disrespectful, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
So the two times I was able to work with him, he was super nice. I'm like, I don't know. And it's like everybody has their days. Like, you're going to have your day where you don't want to talk to anybody or you're mad. Like, you're allowed to have those feelings. They are allowed to have their feelings too.
That's the question you always get. Like, I used to get that when we were with J-Lo. People would be like, was she nice? And I'd be like, she's super nice, but also she's not here to be nice. She's here to work. So
yep.
If it's like her job. She's has to work. She's not like, hugging crew and stuff. No, like, what are you expecting? Do you at your work? Do you go and like, check on everyone and at the cubicles and see how everyone's doing, and go at the office and go? I mean, you do your job and you're friendly. She's friendly when we're interacting with her, of course, respectful, friendly. Never raised her voice, never rude. But this idea that they're supposed to be these people that like
are always happy 24/7.
Are just like, that it's not 6 a.m. on a Tuesday and they're here having to work.
Yeah.
Should she be excited? Should she be, and people kind of, they judge their opinions on them based on things they've never experienced.
Man, I mean, I've always been obsessed with her since like 10.
Yeah.
So, like, I always tell people, she's my wife. She's my wife.
That's funny.
But I was able to meet her because of Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh, very cool.
So I had leukemia when I was younger.
Really?
And I had asked them, like, my wishes to meet her.
To meet J-Lo?
Yeah, so I was able to meet her. I think it was my freshman year of college.
Wow.
I got to meet her and play with her kids, and it was cool. I brought my mom and my sister with me. And she was nice.
Yeah.
I was like, but if she were to be,
she has bad days too.
Something happens where, she's nice, and then something happens where her attitude changes. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
It's
have you ever had a bad day or not been in the best mood?
Yeah. But it happens where you can have a good day and then something happens and your attitude changes.
Right.
But I don't like when people are like, oh, she's bipolar, or like she's a diva, and it's just like, bro.
I mean, and she's not.
She's not. It's just.
But if she was, she also earned it.
Yeah, of course.
You're paying for these things. I always love that stuff when they talk about, like, can you believe she asked for certain types of this and certain types of that in her room? I'm like, first of all, it's usually they're in like a hockey arena or some kind of converted sports locker room kind of situation. So yeah, they probably want flowers and some things to make it a little more homey.
Yeah.
They're also paying for it. It's not like they're sending workers out to go spend their own money to get them white roses.
Yeah, but
they're paying you and paying for the stuff.
So what are you complaining about?
Yeah. Do you complain when your job? I mean, they probably do, but do you complain when when your boss asks you to go do something? I mean, that's what it is. It's not. They don't have to be like, hey, is it okay if I send you to go get? It's like, no, like go. This is what I want. It's on this paper. Go get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
you're
not
not gonna
crazy.
tell your boss, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
But you're not gonna tell J-Lo either.
But
oh,
then,
I'm not gonna
but
give
then
you
she's
these
a diva.
M&Ms.
Is your boss a diva for asking
Yeah.
for things? But she's a diva because
Yeah.
whatever. That doesn't make any
It's
sense.
weird. Yeah, I don't know, man.
So you went through leukemia in college,
Oh no.
or
So I'm adopted too. So I always get like the story kind
well,
of.
damn, like, like,
I know I've been through some stuff, but yeah, I would say I don't know, maybe age 3. I got it super young.
oh, you had it at age 3. You had leukemia.
Mhm.
Wow.
Super young. But then I've been in remission, I want to say like since age 5, 6, around there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's that
And then
like?
that was, during that time, I was also going through adoption. Like
You're
me and my
kidding
brother,
me.
me and my little brother were getting adopted, yeah.
So you're going through leukemia at 3. What's that even like at that age? Do you remember?
I remember like bits and pieces, not too much. I remember going to the hospital with my sister.
Because I think I barely remember SeaWorld. I don't,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what, it's like fuzzy.
Yeah. I mean, it's fuzzy for me too. That's why I'm like, the age I'm not sure of. But I know I had to have been super young, 4 or 5.
So I guess
around
you were
there.
in and out of like a children's hospital?
Yeah, so it was in and out. I have like a mark on my chest
From the little,
from the needle that they gave me for
Mhm.
chemo. But yeah, I don't really remember. I remember just like walking with no energy, like
interesting.
slouching. Like it was hard for me to even pick myself up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't remember going in and out of the hospital with her, eating a lot of like these.
With who?
My sister,
Your sister.
like she used to buy these breadsticks. This was just like little random things. Like then, like the hospital we was in had a huge shower, and it was so small. And you're
You
just
were
like,
probably really
"Whoa,
small. It
this
probably
is
wasn't
so
that big.
Yeah,
You were
yeah,
tiny.
Yeah. I'm like, man,
Have you ever
this is
been back
huge."
somewhere where you used to think like a classroom or something, and you're like, it used to be so big, and then you're looking down at the chairs way down here.
So
like,
yeah, so small. You're like,
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what I
I
said.
was just tiny.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's really young.
Mm-hmm.
And was it serious, or was it more of like a earlier stage? Or I mean, they're all serious, but
Mm-hmm.
was it? I mean, it's 2 years, right? You said you were dealing with
Again,
that?
it's like it's fuzzy, so
It's
I don't know.
fuzzy.
It's probably like maybe 2-3 years. I have no idea. I always get the story mixed.
That's
up.
probably a
Like,
good thing that you don't remember every little.
I mean, this was
detail.
painful. I remember,
Yeah.
like, man, I was cursing all the doctors at
Yeah.
that age. Like, they had me, they had to hold me down on the bed. Because
They
I
put
was
like that.
moving.
Is it a needle, or they put this?
It's a needle.
but
It's
does
weird.
it
It's like
stay? It's just.
yeah.
It's one of those things though where
It
it
have
like
to stay.
it stays in for like a while.
Yeah. So they
Yeah.
had to, you're young and no
Yeah,
one wants to
no.
be with a needle in their chest.
Yeah.
So they ended up having to get other doctors because it was like I was the exorcist. So I was just moving a lot and cursing. And after they put I don't remember what happened after that. After they put the needle there, no clue.
Yeah.
No clue what happened after that. But yeah, I'm here.
That's crazy. That's such a that's a weird thing because it's such a traumatic thing, but you were so young that you didn't.
Yeah, I don't really remember much.
You went through it, but you don't remember it, which maybe is a good thing. I don't know if you would want to remember every
Hey
detail.
man, I had a lot of ice cream. I had a lot of Jello. I was like, yeah, this is life right
This
here.
isn't too bad. This
Yeah.
part, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were also being adopted at the time.
Yeah, me and my little brother. I mean, I have other siblings, but I don't know. I feel like the adoption agency is a little funny to adopt kids who are in their teenage years. Like normally,
Yeah.
people like to adopt when they're
Yeah.
a baby because it's, I guess, less complicated.
You can kind of mold them probably to be your like as if you had them,
Yeah.
and
I
then
guess so.
you let them know, hey, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else, my other siblings weren't fortunate enough to get adopted by a family, so they were like in and out of homes.
Yeah.
And then me and my baby brother, we were able to get adopted. And my adopted mom, she was friends with my biological mom, so it was like perfect
Oh, okay.
timing type of thing.
So it was just maybe out of necessity that.
I mean, I don't really know the story behind it. I just know that my adopted mom had a friend who lived in the same area as my biological mom at the time in the projects. And, like, because I remember I lasted longer with my mom, my biological mom, for a little bit of time before I got adopted, where my brother at the time, he was 5 months. So he was living with my adopted mom from
Basically the get-go.
yeah, from the get, where I had a little bit more time with her, so I have more of a connection with her, sort of,
Yeah.
than he does. He's just like,
I don't remember you at all.
I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing.
Nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still talk to your biological mom today?
Not really. Not really. I just feel like she showed up for a couple of years while we was adopted and then disappeared for many, many years. And then high school comes along and she's like, hey, you know, you're going to be 18 soon, so we can have a relationship then. And I'm just like, why did you have to wait, like, until I'm 18?
How'd that make you feel when she said that?
It made no sense. I didn't understand. I was like, for what? Like, you missed all those are important years. Like, you know, from...
Yeah, I mean, by the time you are 18, it's mostly all the important years.
Yeah, that's how you build a connection. Like, man, you were there. But my biological sister, she was there all those years. So I'm a lot closer to her than my biological
And
mom.
how many siblings total do you have?
7.
You have 7.
In both families.
Okay.
And I'm young, the youngest out of the sisters, and then my brother is the youngest out of the brothers.
Interesting.
In both families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 7 total.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you guys kind of all still stay in contact with each other or not so much?
My brother, he doesn't stay in contact with them. I just stay in contact with the sister that was always there.
Yeah.
The one that would come and visit from time to time. That's pretty much it. The other ones I don't talk to.
So it's more of like for you, like you're not, there's people, different people have different perspectives on family. Mm-hmm. Based on what they went through. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like it's something where you can do without?
Yeah, which is why I was okay with not having a relationship with my biological mother, because it was like, I've had all these years without you. Why would I need you now? You know what I mean? It was just like...
Did she give you an answer?
Yeah, but I don't know.
It wasn't satisfying?
It's tricky because she went through a lot in her life from the get with grandma, but I don't know what it is to have gone through what she's gone through. But in my head, it's kind of like you have a choice. You know, like I feel like if you didn't like the way you grew up and you didn't have a connection with your mom, wouldn't you want to do better for your kids and have a connection with your kids and raise them differently, you know? But she just wasn't there, so how am I supposed to have a relationship with you? I don't know how to do that.
Right.
So yes.
And then once you've gotten to that age and that point, when they come back in, you're just kind of like
what are you doing?
Why
here?
now?
Yeah. That's why I was like, why would you wait until I'm almost 18 to want to have a relationship with me?
When's the last time you talked to her?
A couple months ago, but that was because I was FaceTiming my sister, and she was like, "Oh, hey, mom is here," and I was like,
"Hey." Is that awkward?
Yeah. I mean, for me, yeah, but I don't think for her, she still is like, you know, you're my daughter, you're the youngest one, you're my last baby, and I'm just kind of like.
She has to know some of the damage, you know. I mean, that's got to be a difficult thing for you to go through, and I'm sure a lot of people have gone through that too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't even know what to say. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah. And so you were dealing with leukemia. You were finished at around 5.
5, 6.
When were you adopted?
Around the same time.
Was it because of that?
Well, from what I know, it had to do with like, so my mom she was into drugs like during her time, because that was a thing, you know, 80s to be in drugs. But to her story, she was getting sober and getting cleaned up, and she ended up leaving her kids with, I guess, my aunt with her sister. Something happened the cops came and took us. I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay.
And then that was it. Like, she, you know, she was like, man, I was trying, you know, trying to be good, and I let her take care of you guys for a couple of hours where I went to go to the store to get something, and I come back and the cops are here and they take you guys away from me. She was never able to get us back.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay.
And that was just it.
That was it.
There's no, like, you know, follow up. There's no, they just took them and that was it.
Oh, yeah. So we just went to the adoption agency. I don't know what happened to my siblings, but, like, as far as me and my younger brother, we would go to the agency, and that's when we would meet our biological mom. I think it was, like, once a week type of thing. And then it just...
Oh, interesting. Okay. I never knew if they allow you at all. Like, I've never even thought about that. Because a lot of times people are adopted, it's because the parents are just either gone or dead or something had happened to them. Mm-hmm. But if they're still around and it was this kind of situation, I never knew, like, they would let her see you at least once a week.
Yeah, it would be there. It would be at the agency for some time. And
kind of supervised kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then after that, we would meet at where, you know, she lived, where we lived at for a little bit of time before we got adopted. So in those same projects, because there was a park there. So we'd go there and spend time with her and then go back home. But then she eventually stopped showing up. So it was kind of like, what happened here? Like,
she probably was back on, or do you think?
I have no idea. I've never asked her that, actually. Like, why did you stop showing up?
I wonder why.
Yeah, I never asked her, because then it got to a point where it was just like, what's the point of talking about it if I'm already
I've
lived
moved
life,
on, you know, I'm
lived life
on.
without her. So it's kind of like, what's the point of asking?
Do you feel like that in that kind of experience, what you've been through, you know, contributes to your personality now? You know, you don't really take shit. Don't want to I don't want to deal with it because I didn't deal with it then, and I'm not going to deal with it now.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Like we was talking earlier with me last year, and me feeling like my relationships with certain people was just, you know, head to head, clashing a lot. And I was just like, I don't care. If you want to leave, the door's right there. Like, I'm used to this. Go ahead. I'll be fine. I'll figure it out.
You're used to this.
Yeah. But I didn't realize it was because of the way I grew up with people coming in and out of my life. Where I was just like, bro, go ahead.
Everyone else leaves, so just go.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Just like, all right. It was cool while it lasted. Bye. Yeah, so it's kind of hard for me to, like...
You know that's not healthy.
It's not. It's not healthy at all.
But that's the way...
But, yeah.
You've developed it.
Yeah, so, like... But even if you were to explain yourself on why you do what you do...
Right.
I still feel like people don't care. Like, they're just like, oh, that's cute, but it's still my way. And you're just like, man, I'm telling you why I'm treating the situation the way I'm treating it. And you just still like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. So
what's the point of opening up?
Well, it's one of those things where for every person like that, I have to imagine there's people who will listen to you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Who will be a little more than just surface relationship.
Yeah.
There definitely is people, especially clients, people that you're working with on like a paid basis or off on just on a thing. They probably don't care.
Yeah.
They're in their world. They want to deal with their stuff. And I mean, I get that. But
I mean, because if it's business, it's business. Ain't nobody trying to, hey.
You're talking more about personal.
Yeah, personal
life.
Yeah.
It's tougher.
For sure.
So you had people in your personal life that were kind of like, eh.
You're like, that's cool and all, but you're just like, what? That's so rude.
You just like told them all this stuff and then.
Yeah, because it's still more about them. Like, they don't see. Like, I try to see the bigger picture with my relationships with people. So sometimes if we're having an argument or it's about to be an argument, I will try to kind of like step back and be like, is this really worth me arguing with you right now? Or like, this is pointless. Like, what's the whole point of arguing about a sock? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Sometimes.
I've tried that before. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Because then when you stay quiet and they ask you, like, why are you quiet? And you're like, I feel like this is not worth for us to argue about a sock on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sock. Like there's bigger things that we can be arguing about, or agreeing to disagree and move forward about.
Just in general, it's
Yeah.
not worth it, or the energy.
I just don't. I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like. I'll let you just have it. I just like, But then, it's like, which is also, I had a conversation with a friend of mine. It's like, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. So, with people, they want you to express yourself, but why are you judging me if I'm expressing myself? But then if I don't say something, why are you not expressing yourself? Do you care about us? Do you care about blah, 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 blah? And you're just like, I can't win.
No matter what,
like,
I can't win. Yeah.
Do you want to hear what I have to say, or you don't? Are you going to judge what I have to say? Are you going to understand what I'm feeling? Or are you just going to pin it and continue the ball of arguing? Like, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's not for you.
It's not for me. I'm like, okay. Are we going to solve this or not?
In the personal side of things, yeah, that's much more difficult.
Yeah,
because
so tough.
If they are giving you that kind of pushback, or that, not wanting to understand where you're coming from, that can make it really difficult.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't have like a lot of relationships with people, because I can't.
The solitude of an artist.
Yeah, man.
Prefer to be with your work.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Maybe 1 to 2 people at most, but to be in a, like, I don't know, crowd of like 500 people or so is just a lot. Even 20 people, 15 is a lot for me. I'm like, I have my times where I can be around like 10, 15 people, but after an hour or so, I'm out.
You're like spent.
I'm like, I socialized, guys.
I'll see you next month. Yeah.
See you in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like that's a common thing, I think. It's because I'm similar to that. I have like a quota of like time, and like if I'm out with people and it's like I can have a good time, but as I reach that point, it starts to reach that time, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go.
Yep.
Close the door. I just want to watch Netflix, be by myself.
You don't even want to be on your phone. You just like,
just
peace.
Recharge. Do your thing. Yeah.
Like I like to sit in the mornings in the sun with a coffee or water or something. I just sit there. I leave my phone in the bedroom and I just sit there. But it helps because like when you're doing so much, when it's a lot of chaos, it kind of calms you down.
Well, it's like a meditation thing.
Yeah, it's like
it's kind of like your routine, your little recharge.
Yeah, I have to, because I realize like if I don't have it, I don't know, I kind of like shut down.
You don't feel grounded.
Yeah, like you got the worst, or like the worst parts of me come out, and I don't like that. People shouldn't have to.
What do you mean by the worst parts of you?
Like whether I have more attitude, or I come off more rude, or staying to myself, like not wanting to answer their phone, or like reply to an email or a DM. Like I'm just
right.
Let me be to myself before I put whatever stress I have on you.
On you, and then I'm feeling bad later because
Yeah, so I try to let people know, like, hey, I'm gonna answer to you tomorrow, or I need a day to myself, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Some people like it, and some people don't like it. Like they have a problem with it, which is like, I don't owe it to you.
They have a problem with what? With you taking the time?
Yeah, it's weird, right? I find it weird. Like, why do you have a problem with me taking time to myself?
That's more of like, it's got to be more of like a relationship thing.
You mean like a girlfriend type of thing, or like a friendship?
Like more of, if you mean like people like clients or like that?
Oh no, not clients.
Yeah, like more of a friends or it
family.
Could be girlfriend, it could be friends.
Yeah,
but people who are like on the personal side.
Yeah, for sure.
More than the work side. If people on the work side, you say you're busy, then
that's it. Yeah,
there's no prodding you unless they really need something. But
yeah, that's what I would say though. Like,
I wonder if it's like people that you say like you, when you're like I need space, if they think it's like they did something wrong, as opposed to you just needing time for yourself.
But yeah, I mean, I used to say that I need time for myself, but it has nothing to do with opposite person.
It's not the other person.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you wanting to just
To have the day
recharge.
to myself, yeah.
Yeah. But then they're probably sitting there the whole time thinking they did something wrong.
Yeah, no, like I've had to explain myself to certain people. Like, no, that's not the case. Like, it has nothing to do with you. I just, depending on the week.
I just like my space.
Depending on the week, like if I had a lot going on and I feel like I haven't had time to myself, I'm going to tell you, like, I just need a day or two to myself. Like, you know, sometimes when you can have a full work week
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing, I don't know, maybe 2 shoots a day.
Just go.
And you're just like, oh, this is, your insides are just like, your anxiety or whatever is just, you're moving a lot. You're like, oh, I need to like breathe in, breathe out.
Yeah.
And that's when you have those days where you're like, okay.
Where you want to do nothing, or you want to just be with yourself and your thoughts and not have to, you know,
sleep in all day if you want.
be on someone else's schedule. You're on your own schedule. Yeah, totally.
It's a lot. Like, okay.
Especially with someone when you have a personality like yours, where you're not extroverted. You like to be in smaller groups.
I feel like people get different sides of me though, because sometimes I can meet somebody and they're like, oh, you have such a great energy about you, and it's very pure and genuine, and you're fun. Or if I say something funny and people are attracted to that, like, oh, she's funny, she's laid back, and blah, blah, blah. I can be super silly, but at the same time, it's more like, this is cool that you get this side of me, but
it's also one side of me.
Yeah, like, I'm just like, I'm not going to be like this every day.
All the time.
All the time. Or then they start to invite you to places and you're like...
Too far.
Like,
Dial it back.
I'm like, I'm not going to no parties with you. Like,
or just in general.
Yeah,
it's not you. It's just
a lot,
in general.
yeah. When it comes to other people, I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you, because I think that's something that's like that's difficult.
But they stare at you like, wait, but you have all this great energy. What do you mean you don't want to hang out with other people? Like,
right.
I want to show people my new friend or whatever. And you're just like, yeah, but I'm not into all that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super laid back.
Just want to be just in your own space.
Mm-hmm.
So when you moved out here, did you kind of keep communication with your family at all? Or did you
through FaceTime or like calling, things like that. My cousin came
to visit
last year in December to visit, which was nice to have family out here, because my other family members, they would not take a 6-hour flight to come to California. So like last year, towards the end of June, we all met in Florida for like a family trip, which was fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And you guys just like catch up and just kind of, you know.
Yeah, we ate out there, the pool, you know, my nieces and nephew went. So it was well needed at the time.
Little vacation.
It was well needed, yeah.
That's funny. That's like something very interesting, because people who move so far away, it's usually one of two things. They miss their family and they want to have communication, and some of them they move for a reason.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I will say the difference of, like, that first year that I moved here, I struggled a lot because I was so used to being surrounded by so many people.
Yes.
So I was struggling with, like, the quietness, right? Of just, like, everything's so far out here and you have to, like, take an Uber here.
Oh, yeah.
Take 3 buses to get to this place or whatever the case may be. Where in New York, you could just walk and it's right around the corner.
That's the one thing I love about New York.
The transportation out there is great.
But even if you had to walk, you could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's nice. But then it's like out here, that first year, it made me realize that with the problems, when I had problems in New York, I would run to my niece and my nephew, like when I had issues, to forget about them. And then when I came out here, I was like, I really had to face it. Versus like,
that's interesting,
running towards them. I'm like, man. But it was good because I learned a lot about myself. I'm like, okay.
What do you mean? What did you learn?
Like how to be more patient with myself, be okay with just being in a room that's quiet and it's just me, spending time with myself. So I guess solitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus just running from the next thing to the next thing and not really
facing
dealing
them.
with
Yeah.
whatever it is you were dealing with.
Yeah, because, you know, like my nieces and my nephew, we're always playing with each other, making jokes or spending time. So you're not really facing whatever issues you have, whether it's, I don't know, an argument with somebody or something at work or even something with yourself. So I kept getting like distracted. So I'm like, oh man, wow.
You think that's something
This is a
important
huge
for people
difference.
to learn how to do, which is like facing their own
Facing
quiet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's like something I feel the same way, because I definitely don't love the quiet, because I feel like it's something similar to that,
Mm-hmm.
where I feel like I have to deal with what's on my mind.
But it gives you clarity though, on like what you want to do, where you want to go.
It does, yeah.
Planning wise with your own life, like, okay, in 5 years I would like to be here, or by this time next year I would like to be, I don't know, in my own spot, or whatever the case, have a kid, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It gives you time to think
Plans
about
are
life.
fragile things, man.
Even though sometimes
such
it doesn't work as
yeah.
you plan.
But you set a plan, a goal.
Yeah,
It's more of a
yeah.
goal.
Yeah, just so that you can stay focused on that.
What was your goal when you moved to LA? What were you thinking you were gonna do? Did you have any expectation? Or
No.
Did you just kind of...
At first, it kind of felt like I was here for vacation.
Really?
Yeah, because I only brought like 2 luggages with me.
Most of your stuff was still there?
Yeah, I just gave it to my nieces. Like, guys can have all the winter clothes, and I just took probably like a little bit of stuff. But no, I didn't have any plans out here. I was just, whatever happened, happened.
And did you have any friends here already?
Yeah, I had 2 of them. One of them, she's a known songwriter, but like I knew her back in New York, and we have like the same background with like concerts. So she was also in that
world.
In that world as well.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, she inspired me to come out here. Like, she motivated me, because I was kind of like scared. I'm like, man, I don't know what's gonna happen out there. She's like, man, you just gotta take that leap of faith.
Were you worried you were gonna fail, or you worried you were gonna not know anybody, or what was the fear?
I just didn't want to be piggybacking off of her, because she knows a lot of people out here, and so when I first moved out, she helped me for a little bit, but at the same time, it was nice, and I'm super thankful. Like, I always tell her, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
Yeah.
But after that, I think it was like a good 2-3 months. I'm like, okay, I got to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Instead of, hey, this person, I know this person, like, just to work with somebody because they know her. Like, I didn't want that.
Did you feel like you were, it was awkward for you because you felt like you were having to accept help, or not even help, but just you were having to work with someone else's clients? Is that kind of why it was weird for you?
No, I think it's more of like, if she's giving and it seems like I'm obviously taking, it's like, what can I do to pay her back, type of thing. I'm like, even though she's not the type.
You were feeling indebted, even if she wasn't making you feel indebted.
Yeah. Because she's not that type. She's like, you don't owe me anything.
Yeah.
Like, we all need help.
The best kind of friend.
Yeah. So, but it's hard for me to even ask for help. Like, hey, or I think it's because I've always been independent since young, with the whole adoption thing and not trusting people. And I'm just kind of like, in my head, like, you can do it on your own. Like, you don't need people. Like,
yeah,
you have what you need to make it to wherever. Like, everything's gonna happen the way it's supposed to happen.
right.
So like with meditation and praying, I've gotten closer to that by living here. Like, I've never really done that in New York at all. But then when I came out here, I started reading like self-help books to help me get a different perspective on how to like be okay with being by myself.
Yeah.
Not relying on other people or relying to family when I have,
a support system, so
yeah,
to speak.
Yeah, it was like having myself as my own support system, but then also believing in the higher ups. Like,
It's the
spiritual.
It's that New York. It's the New York in you that thinks you could do everything by yourself.
Yeah, it's
That's the one thing
It's so bad.
it's like unique to every one of my friends that's from New York, because they like to imagine that they can do every job themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, sometimes you have to, you have to have help.
Yeah.
It's not ideal.
I'm trying. It's hard, but I'm trying. Yeah.
But it's like this thing that's ingrained in you from living there. I think it's just this mentality, which isn't a bad thing. It definitely drives you and makes you a hard worker and everything. But it also makes it difficult for you to go outside your comfort zone in a way,
and trust people with like. So it's like if I take a picture, if I have a shoot and I'm like, oh, I don't want to edit these pictures, and then you kind of hire an editor. Yeah. But then it's like you have to trust that editor. Yeah. To get the pictures done by a certain time so that you can give it to the client. Like, hey, here they are. Right. But sometimes, again, it's like not working out because of personalities, or if one person is lazy and the other person doesn't care, or maybe they're not getting paid and it's an internship, so it's like they can slack off and be like, oh. Yeah. How do you feel about that kind of thing with your own profession? Do you do a lot of free work, or do you get asked to do a lot of free work? If it's worth it. So for example, like I went to the Grammys, but it was all paid for. Yeah. Like the Grammy ticket, the hotel, food. So it's like I didn't get paid to be the photographer. But
there were things that...
The experience, like there's no money in the world for you to have that type of experience. So It's like you have to give and take, like, oh. That's
something that's like probably, it's probably was really, it was fun, I'm sure. Yeah. When you were working, it was probably, it was a fun experience.
But it didn't feel like work, because working with him is super chill. Yeah. Yeah. It's not like working with other artists that I've worked with and they make it feel like work. Yeah. Or with him, he's a producer. It's like, kind of like family, like we're just hanging out as friends type of thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you were at the Grammys, the actual Grammys. You weren't just in town.
Because it was in Vegas. He did like a little bit of interviews. We walked the red carpet. We went inside to see the show.
Had your camera with you?
I had my camera, but I couldn't bring it on the red carpet. Yeah. So I just used my phone. Yeah. Yeah, which he was cool with. Some people are not cool with that. Like some artists are not cool with that. He's like,
yeah, but you're still... to have the camera, because it's not your fault.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But he was super cool with it, which I was like, oh, thank God you're not making it a big deal. It's still content. Like
it's something, yeah. And especially if you can't, if like the venue, you're not able to bring what you need to bring, then that's one thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like it's your fault. But yeah, no, like that's like a huge accomplishment. That's exciting.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. But see, that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of the artists that I've worked with, I didn't expect to work with them. It just happened. It just happened. Yeah. And it's like, I kind of feel like with some people, since I feel like I'm not really consistent with photography, but I still get presented these big opportunities, it's kind of like, I feel like certain people are kind of jealous. Like, how is it you disappear? Because I disappeared for 7 months. Like I had told you, with me working with myself.
And tell everybody that. So you took about 7 months off.
Yeah, like a break. A break off of photography and just take care of myself, my well-being. I went to therapy.
What brought that on, though? What was it? Just the work? Was it the constant,
the BS?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Was there a breaking point, or did you just kind of
I just felt like
I need a minute.
Like last year, even from the beginning of the year, it just started off bad, where I had a roommate. He was going through his thing with his girlfriend, but it was really bad. Like he was always in my room every morning just venting. Like I would be editing pictures, like just trying to.
Yeah, it's horrible.
He'll come in. Just come in my room and he'll start venting. He'll lay in my bed and I'm like, man, bro, like I understand that you're hurt right now, but I'm telling you, you're going to be fine. Just continue going to therapy. Yeah. And then I had a roommate who came from New York. I don't know what happened to her, but she just did like a 360 and started seeing things, started calling the cops.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like, just not a good roommate.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. It was weird because it was like I've never seen that side of her, and then she came back from New York from Christmas break. She went to go spend time with her family. She came back and just completely different. She brought her sister with her.
Brought
and
the
it was
drama.
just, no, but it was weird. I have no idea, literally no idea what happened. But she ended up leaving. Her parents came to pick her up. Her dad came to pick her up, and then they went back to New York. My roommate became, he got better.
Yeah.
And then I ended up leaving Home Depot. And then I wasn't doing anything for like 2 months, and then I ended up working with a producer named Camper. A music producer named Camper.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And
so then it was like work was...
It was like a more steady?
Yeah, it was more steady because of him. Like,
yeah.
Hey, I need like, okay, cool. And then it was like just personal relationships, or like, not that I was in a personal relationship with someone specific, but like friends, or just, I don't know, man, it was something in the air where I was just clashing with everybody. We weren't seeing eye to eye, and I'm just like, like, man, I don't need this. Like, F you, all of you. So I backed up from everybody, like literally everybody except for Camper. And I'm just like, I'm just going to focus on work. That was it.
And that's just kind of what you stuck with?
Yeah, I stuck with that until I think it was like July or August of last year. And then I went back to Home Depot. And then I went to therapy, and I spoke to the therapist about what had happened during that year last year. And I got a lot of answers. I was like, oh, okay. This makes sense now. Like, okay, cool.
Did you start to understand why you were clashing?
It had to do with my relationship with my biological mom. And I was like, it's a nice perspective that you have here, because I would have never thought about it like that.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to help you kind of unpack it a bit?
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, okay.
Have things been better?
Yeah, I'm just more selective on who I spend time with, who I work with.
That makes sense.
Who I choose to be. Because I don't like to throw the name, oh, you're my friend. Like, no. Mm-hmm. We're acquaintances. Like, yeah. There's no friend. I don't like when people throw friend. Oh, she's my friend. Like, no, we just work with each other.
Yeah. For good reason, you're guarded.
Yeah. I'm just like, Yeah, I'm just like, I just like the peace.
Yeah.
Instead of like always trying to be outside. No.
That's a tough. I mean, you've been through quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, you know.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you're not necessarily wanting to just open yourself up to all these different kind of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who some of which may have their own agenda. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
That's tough. That's really tough. I mean, it's like something where you. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say really, besides like it's something that you have to just kind of keep working through, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like it's hard to have a balance.
Yeah.
For sure.
A work and personal balance.
Yeah, but I would rather work than have. Is that bad?
No, I'm like that sometimes, where I feel like I'm working too much, but I'm enjoying it, but I also am neglecting other things.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like I'm not working enough, but then it's like sometimes I care, and then sometimes I don't care.
Do you ever have like find it hard to like not be working?
No, I mean, like those 7 months, I had a ball. I was like, oh, this is so nice.
Just relaxing.
Not being. Like, I told a whole bunch of people, no, I'm not. I'm taking a break off of photography. Like, but I can recommend you to other photographers if you want. But that's another thing too, because sometimes when I would recommend other photographers, they kind of just want you, because they know how it is to work with you, or if they're scared to ask for the other photographer's prices when they already know yours. I don't know. I know, like, I don't know if it's a New York thing, but I say it is because that's what everybody else says here. But So my camera has Wi-Fi on it, right? So I can connect it to my phone. So if I'll take a picture, normally, if we're taking pictures for like 20 minutes, I'll let you select it and then send it to you right then and there. And they're just like so surprised. Like, oh my God, you're the only photographer that does this. Like, I have to wait a week or so to get my pictures back. And even if I do pay the photographer, it still takes that long. But for me, I just rather get it over with. Like, if they're okay for it not to be edited, all right, cool, here you go. But if you want me to edit it, then
I have to take it home.
I have to take it home, yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Some people just
if I don't have my laptop, of course, because I don't bring my laptop all the time.
Do you have a lot of people editing your pictures? Like, do they edit for you, like their own pictures?
What do you mean? For like, if
like, let's say you do a photo shoot with someone, they paid you to do the photo shoot, but they're okay with just taking them raw. Do you have them then go home and they're doing it themselves?
The edit?
Yeah.
That hasn't really happened.
Yeah.
That's
always gives me anxiety.
I mean, the only thing I don't like is...
It happens to me all the time, actually. Actually, I will give people the raw... Like, I usually give them JPEGs just so they can view them.
Same thing.
And say, hey, here. You know, select the ones you want, and then I'll color them and do everything, you know, whatever to them. And I've had people before where they'll be like, no, we'll just do it in Facetune. And I'm like... I don't want to be like, don't tag me, but it's like, I don't want you to tag me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, like, I don't have a problem with the Facetune because it's more of like softening their skin type of thing.
It is, but sometimes they overdo it. It's blurred to the point where it's like...
The ones that I've seen, it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
But I just don't like when they put the Instagram filters.
Oh, yeah.
Because...
Like
you have this crispy picture and you put a filter, Instagram filter. That
they do it with video too.
What was the whole point of a shoot?
It's even worse with video.
Really?
Yeah, because there's so many more filters. All those filters in like the Reels and stuff and TikToks.
I didn't even know Reels had filter.
Yeah, they have those little filters where you can do. Some of them give it a tone, but none of them look good. I've done them before, just for fun. I'm like, yeah, this is funny. Like this is you know. But they never look good.
Yeah, well, because
it's just like it's too over the top. Like a good color adjustment, unless you're really doing like artistic, you know, that's a different style. But like, let's say just for like something simple, if you just do you don't overdo it. You just do a little bit of adjustment, a little bit, you know. The reality is like, this is what, if you're keeping it natural, this is what the picture looked like, right?
Yeah.
So you can't go crazy and make the sky purple and do all these, but like that's what those filters do. Some of them like make it like so crazy.
No.
And then people love them. They love them though, and so it's like.
I mean, if you're using it creatively, I guess it could work, but.
It's using it creatively though from someone who's not really creative. So that's the thing. Yeah. Like not everybody has the eye for it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Even people in our world have better eyes for it than we do.
Yeah.
But like, I know my limits. Like, I know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at, and I know that like if I had no skills at all, I wouldn't be taking a professional thing and putting some big old filter on it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way.
It happens, and so I'm curious to see if it's ever happened to you where you have a situation where you're like, oof, what'd you do to it?
It'll be, you know? Like I said, like they'll put an Instagram filter on top of it, and I'm like, why did you tag me? Because I don't want the people looking at that picture saying, oh, she put this filter. Work. Is that her? Yeah, like no, don't do that.
That's the biggest thing that they don't. It's not.
And they don't even ask permission.
Yeah.
It's just like, what?
Well, that's a whole issue in itself, but. For me, it's like, if you want to do that, if you like it, like that's fine. Just don't tag me, because I don't want people to think that's
my work. Yeah,
because it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Work.
Yep.
So I'm not, and there's really no nice way to say that.
Yeah, I mean, there's not. You just have to say
saying, "Hey, don't tag me." There's no real.
I mean, you can explain it to them. Like, I just don't want people thinking that's my work because you put a filter on top. That's really it. They have to understand.
I just feel like the people that do that aren't the most rational people in the world.
They're not.
So that's why, yes, you think that way, and that should be how it is.
Yeah, but no,
no.
they're not. They're not all there.
I don't think so. That's a tough thing. I mean,
It is.
do you find it's difficult being? You're a creative person. You're an artist in your own way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find it difficult to, like, make a steady income without it being?
Man, that's why I'm always going back and forth with these 9 to 5s, because it's just so hard to keep it consistent.
Yeah.
And then obviously you're gonna have people who are gonna want to pay you your price,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna have people who are gonna try to low blow you, or hey, can you come to a happy medium or whatever. So I feel like now I'm trying to kind of like not work with people in the industry, kind of work with people outside of the industry, because it's just easier. They have no problem paying, or just saying, "Oh, thank you, I can't afford you right now," like, and they keep it, keep it moving.
It's quick and over.
But like with music, some music people, it's just a hassle. Like, "Oh, I don't have the funds for it," and you're just like, "Bro, what are you talking about? You're in Christian Dior. You have a Gucci belt.
Yeah.
You live here. You're traveling all the time. You just spent whatever 10 bands at
You don't want
a
to
store.
spend money on it.
Yeah, so it's just like, what do you mean you don't even have $200?
You don't want to spend it. Is my guess.
Yeah, basically. I'm like, oh man, you guys are something
Which for
else.
you is, as the person who's doing the work, is do you feel like that's unfair?
I find that disrespectful, because if you're a rapper, you're gonna want to get paid for your work.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just like, how do you, like, you understand what it is not to get paid.
The only thing that's really unpaid and it's accepted is like editorials. It's kind of dumb, because the magazine does make money, and they don't have a ton of money because it's dying, but they, editorials really never pay. Aside from that, I've never found it to be like a convincing argument. Like if you're just someone who's just saying, if you're trying to promote your album or your single or any of these things, that should be factored into the whole creation. You paid the producer, didn't you?
Yeah. I don't know why
You paid the person who put the thing together.
I don't understand, dude.
But then here you are at the very end, and now you turn your pockets upside, and you're just like,
Empty.
I don't have anything.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's weird to me.
Yeah.
It should be factored into the
It
whole
should.
thing.
It
From
should
when
be.
you start the project, this is the end of the project.
Mhm.
That's what it should be. Even if it's not a
Included in
lot,
the
it should be
budget, yeah.
something.
It
If
should
someone
be.
came to me and was like, "Hey, I only have $500, or I have this, or I have that,"
Mhm.
I'd at least respect the fact that they came to me with something,
Mhm.
versus coming and being like, "Hey, I don't have,
Mhm.
anything," but then she gets back in her BMW.
Yeah.
And I've had people before that pay me
It's
on time.
disrespectful.
What's even more disrespectful is people. I'm gonna start taking money up front.
Yeah, which is what I tend to do, direct deposits. I mean, direct deposit. Yeah, deposit of something, like.
I want them on the
Of the
day
day.
of, though.
Oh, I kind of do it before. So if they say, "Hey, are you available May 13?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yes, but a deposit of whatever, $100
Right.
to secure the date.
Yeah.
You're not getting that deposit back.
Mhm.
Because if I have to call out from work,
Yeah.
then at least I still have something. I'm not losing money. You know what I mean?
And then you just decide not to show up.
Yeah.
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 See, I've been in situations where we've, even people that I know decently have hired for certain things, and then they just either don't pay or they take 13 months.
It's because of
15
that
months.
relationship they have with you. So they think, oh, since we're friends,
That,
you'll be
that-
okay.
That must be what it is, but I just find it to be infuriating, because I'm like on these emails with these agencies that are, the models also haven't been paid. And I'm
Not
like,
even the models.
I'm like, can you take, I mean, this is making me look bad now at this point. Can you please
Yeah.
pay your, I never understood the idea of someone who, if you don't have the money in the bank,
Why are you reaching
why are
out?
you spending it? Well, we thought this was coming in later. Well, hopefully you learn your lesson, because
Yeah.
you hired us, you hired the models, you hired all these people. We all came, we worked, we edited the pictures, which is a beauty campaign.
Especially if you show up earlier than
bring
the time.
equipment, bring lighting, bring everything.
That's a lot.
The models come, they do their job, and then you're like, oh, I don't have the money?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I've been in
I
situations
love you,
like
but
that
what
too.
the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And then for it to be, because if I was in that situation and the company didn't have money, I would be like, here, I'm going to spot the company, the money, so they can pay these people so we don't look ridiculous.
Yep.
Not be at 15 months in and you're like, it's coming next month. And I'm like, oh,
That's
sure
why
it
I
is.
don't like. I don't know how songwriters do it because isn't it like that? They don't get paid until months or even a year or so
You know,
later.
I
That's hard.
a couple guests ago, I had a songwriter on,
Okay.
and she didn't explain to me the pay structure, but it is one of those things where you have to be in the room for credit. So the songwriting has some weird rules and some very odd quirks and things that don't fully make sense to me because it was like you know, if you give someone lyrics but you're not in the room with them when the song's being constructed, you don't necessarily get credit. So it's like she was explaining essentially it's very important that, you know, I'm here because I can't be in Atlanta or in, you know, New York or wherever. If they're here, I have to be here. And which made sense. But I was a little bit like, really? I was like, if I emailed you some lyrics, I mean, that's not enough proof that I gave it to you.
Exactly. It's
You know
an
what I
email.
mean?
Yeah.
But apparently not. Now I might have misunderstood that, but that's the second person that's made that.
But wouldn't they have to charge? Like, I mean, the way I thought it worked was kind of like a deposit. Okay, I'm gonna give you a fee to be in the studio with you at this time on this day,
I think so. I would think.
and then you
that,
get the rest of the money, I guess, when the song comes out or the album comes out. I'm not sure how that works.
I'm not really sure. I think that they work out some kind of deal to a degree with what they contributed, what they get, whether it's some kind of royalty or whether it's just a flat payment. From what I always understood, it was a flat payment. But then there are certain situations where songwriters have made really good money having a song that blows up and they get a residual for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But see, that's the.
Photographers don't.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, man.
It's
I was
one and
gonna bring
done.
that up.
I mean, it's just a different thing. If you take a really famous picture, I mean, I guess you could sell the picture because most likely,
Paparazzi, you know?
well, but most likely those people aren't buying out the license. They're paying you for the use, but you own the picture. So if for some reason a picture you took became, you know, super famous, or you had a gallery and you could sell that picture.
But wouldn't you have to let the artist know, like?
See, it's yes and no. It's one of those things where if you had a gallery showing of your portraits, and those are your portraits of people that have sat for you, and if you got releases from them, then yeah, you own it.
But see, you need the releases though.
You do. It's safer.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to really, you know, but like if someone sat for me and did a portrait, and then I wanted to do a book, that's my book. That's my stuff. It's don't sit in front of my camera. You know, it's my work.
Oh, that's a nice
You know what I
title
mean?
for a book. Don't sit in front of my camera.
Yeah.
That's a nice title for a book. Look at that.
You could have that one.
Wow.
I mean,
Because it's the irony. You look at a book and you're like, huh?
well, but if you, but you know, it's the truth though. If you don't want
sit in
me to
front of
put
my
it in a
camera.
book or put it on a website or put it on my Instagram then don't sit with me then, because I've had people before, and no one that you know, I have some great, we have mutual friends, we have people that we've known or people that we've worked with, but I've had people in the past, way in the past, that, well, want to do a collaboration, right?
It's always a collaboration.
It's a collaboration. It's always a collaboration. And which means no budget.
Yeah, basically.
That's what it means, which is fine. I mean, if you, at least if you come to me with that, I mean, up front, I know what it is. Not, hey, I want to hire you, and then, and
I don't have
I have nothing.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, they collaboration. They wanted to work together on something, but then it's like, yeah, I don't want to release them though. I want to wait, and then I'm like, so what did I do it for? Like the whole point
you just
is
wasted my time, dude.
Well, it's happened, you know, whether it's a music video or whether it's a photo shoot or whatever it is. If we're doing it, even if you're getting paid and it doesn't come out, it's a waste of my time. Because I could have had someone that would, because the only way I'm going to get more work and work more often is for other people to see it.
Yep.
Right? So if you pay me and then you don't release it, that doesn't do me any good. I mean, thanks for the payment, I guess, but I could have had someone else pay me who would
release it,
be ready to go.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I've been in situations like that, so you're like, oh.
It just never comes out, or and so then you're kind of like, do I just
like, can I use it for my own thing, or
right? You know, what am I doing here?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's difficult.
It is.
It's difficult.
It is.
And it's not something that, like, you know, what do you do in that situation? Do you cause an argument? I don't want to cause an argument, but it's also like, I want to be like, hey, like, if you're not going to use it, then I'm going to use it.
I mean, I kind of feel like it's similar to getting credit. Like, if they post it and they don't tag you, or they don't.
Now, what's your feeling on that? Because that's very common.
Man, the same shoot that I was saying to you earlier about me and the client kind of going, like, not seeing eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she
she
never tagged
them?
me. She posted them, but she never tagged me, never gave me credit. It was only one picture, but I feel like with the other photographers that she's worked with, she gives them credit. So it's kind of like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Like, and then it's like the ones that she's worked with, they all have been male photographers. And I'm a female, clearly. So it's kind of like, what's up with this fake female empowerment?
Like, you're not. Yeah, like that's such a weird thing. Like, when you tag, like, you have like a makeup artist that did your makeup and a hairstylist did your hair. Like, they tag everybody, but I've seen,
but the photographer,
but not the person who took the picture.
Yeah,
it's very weird.
It's frustrating because it's like, yeah, I got paid for it, but I'm in LA for a reason. Like, how am I supposed to get my name out there if you're not giving me my credit? I'll tag you, the artist, because I posted the pictures. I would tag you just because it's obviously going to make me look good. Even if we didn't see eye to eye, I'm still going to put that aside and post it and be like, hey, I looked at this person and this is how the pictures came out. So why can't you give me the respect of giving me credit? I
mean, it'd be one thing if they didn't tag anybody else, which has its own problems. I think you should tag people that did the work.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you at least did it equally, like, you just didn't, I don't tag anybody ever, then at least I would be like, okay, you know, that's your thing. I don't like that, but that's the whole, But
that's what I'm saying. It's disrespectful when you have the brand of clothing that you're wearing, and you're tagging the makeup artist, and you're tagging the hairstylist, and whoever did your nails, but the photographer. And I feel like it's harder for female photographers to get their name out there versus the guys. But that's just me. Like, I just feel like it's more common to see the men get credit or get tagged versus the females. But that's, like I said, it's just...
Yeah, I've never really paid attention to the other... I do think it's weird when they don't tag people. But I do... It's like... Celebrities do it all the time. And a lot of times it's a person posting for them. So, like, that's different. You know
yeah, that's different. Yeah.
And still, you would think that person, that's their job, would be looking up who was on the shoot, and tagging properly. But I think that with female artists in general, there is a little bit more of a... It's not a competition, but, like, they kind of try and keep, like,
their people
hidden a bit, because I've noticed with some, and I don't want to, like, name drop the celebrities, but, like, people we've worked with, so there's some of them that we work with, they don't like each other, so they don't want to let celebrity A know what celebrities B is doing. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to let...
That's so petty.
It is. It's so petty. It's so when people describe
so petty,
it sounds like a high school, like clique. It's such a bad, like, but it's they just... There's different celebrities that don't like each other, and it's not even necessarily anything work related. It could just be they feel like they're too close to their style, or they don't like them personally, or for other reasons.
Whatever reason, yeah.
But oh my gosh, like, if you work with this one, then I won't work with you. Like, that's some of the stuff that I've seen, and it's like, I'm like, this is so petty.
Yeah, yeah.
But they don't care. I mean, it's something where they just, it's when you're at that level and you can I think you can kind of be the way you want to be, and no one's gonna be like, they're just gonna be like, well, they just don't tell her.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a very it might happen with guys. I haven't personally seen
Me neither.
They just don't care.
Maybe. I have no idea.
They don't get
I've
like
never asked.
they don't get
and even meeting like female photographers, it's weird. Like I feel I'm outgoing and I'm like, hey, what's up? So with guy photographers, it's always like we immediately click.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of that. Like it's
yeah,
female guy.
It could
like,
be.
Hey, what's up?
It could
but
be.
I feel like with the female shooters that I've met before, like it's just awkward.
Maybe it's because there's less of them represented in the industry. Maybe you feel
Probably.
like maybe they feel like there's only one spot. It's me
yeah,
or you.
But it's
kind
so
of thing.
weird because it's too many people in the world for you to feel like that.
Right.
It's weird.
There's plenty of work.
Yeah, because I've had opportunities where I couldn't make it, and I would put my other female shooters that I do know, hey, you can hire this person, or this is this person's IG, and they've gotten, great gigs just because of that. The time that I couldn't make it, like there was a Def Jam signing dinner, and I couldn't make it because I had COVID.
Oh.
So he was like, damn, like, oh, okay, but I have this person. And they hired her. She got an opportunity. She was super thankful. Cool. Last year, during my birthday, I was in Atlanta to celebrate my birthday. And Quincy, Diddy's son, he's also a Gemini. So his birthday was that weekend. And I couldn't make it because obviously I was in Atlanta. I'm like, man, like that would have been a great opportunity.
Were you going to like cover it?
Yeah, I was, but
supposed to.
His manager was like, damn, you're not here. Like, can you recommend somebody for me? Another photographer, a female that I know. Yeah, here. Boom. Her pictures went on Vogue magazine, like.
Oh, no.
Like on the internet, like, well, I'm happy for her, but it was just kind of like.
It is a bit of like a.
like, damn.
If only.
But it's okay because with the La Britney picture, we made it to the billboard of 42nd Street. So
that was sick.
I was like, oh shit.
No, that was great. I didn't.
I was like, whoa.
No, when we guess when I met you,
yeah,
was you were shooting that here. It was for Ciroc. What was it for?
Oh, it's Ciroc, yeah. But that
Ciroc.
picture was for her single "Ducked Off."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it was a cover of that single.
Yeah, it turned out pretty.
Yeah, it did. I was really proud of that. I was nervous.
It was very natural. You did a really good job.
But that's what I like. I like natural, simple.
But you had like natural. It was naturally colorful.
Yeah, yeah. Because she had booked the Airbnb, and the spot was just so pretty. The lights, like the sun came in perfectly. Yeah. The setting of the bedroom was great. I was like, wow, this is perfect. And she knows her angles, so it was super easy to work with her.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something where when it all comes together, it's like a sigh of relief because sometimes you're not sure how it's going to turn out. And I've had that situation before with paid jobs with just shooting friends or shooting where I'm like, oh, like you're as you're going, you're like, I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. And it ends up turning out great.
Yeah, I mean, I have shoots where I think it's going to turn out great, and I'm like, I don't really like any of these pictures.
Yeah,
you just be like, damn. Can we like have another day?
Can we come back?
Can we come back?
Oh no,
the
memory card's corrupted. We gotta do it again.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not really feeling these pictures.
It depends. It's such a and that's like an artist thing, I think too, where you like to critique a little too much maybe. But yeah, no, I think that like it's if you have the time to prepare for the shots, like. Your setup or your lighting or whatever you're doing, is it natural, daylight, whatever it is. If you have the time to prepare it, that's great, but that doesn't always guarantee you that
you're gonna exactly.
It at least sets you up for your side, like on your end everything's good.
Yeah.
But now we're talking about they might not be feeling it that day, they might not be on it, so it's just it's there's a lot of pieces that come together with a photo shoot. I've never done like weddings or anything like that.
Have I done a wedding?
Although with the way the pay is, the weddings, I'm seriously considering it. It's like,
man, they
make so much more money than we do.
Yeah,
they make so much more money than we do.
I've always been told like, hey, you should do wedding photography. I'm like,
and they like it natural.
Yeah, I
you
see it,
know,
but I
it's
never really
very.
sat and thought about it.
But I don't. I'm always been scared away from weddings. I'm
I've
not
done
a,
sweet 16s. No,
not
never
for you.
again. Not
That's
for
too
me.
young.
But I'm saying like pictures and video, like it's just no,
Just too much.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
I did this one gig with this guy in New York. He was like, "Yeah, how many, shoot the Sweet 16?" I'm like, "Okay," and it was literally like 2 full days
Oh no.
of just shooting. I'm like, I'm over this.
Some of the parties and the bar mitzvahs too and stuff in New York are like, they're just, it's the most awkward age. They're not like, it's just not, it's a weird age to be photographing. I've had a very few times where I've had to photograph someone like in their teens, and every time they're just there. It's because I remember it's awkward. You're awkward at that age. You're not all, and if you are, it's a little bit weird. Mm-hmm. So it's expected that they're awkward, but it's just a weird thing. It's such a like there's a certain age I think you develop into this person that can find your angles and feel comfortable in front of the camera. If you're going to at all, it's going to be at that time.
I agree.
But like 13, it's too young.
It's
16,
weird.
it's
Yeah,
weird.
man, it's weird.
It's just, it's not. I mean, and weddings are a whole different situation because
They're adults.
they're adults. But like, what always scared me about weddings is there's no redo. This is it.
Oh yeah, you can go back and do it. Yeah.
I've never redone a shoot, but I always know that if something it just went horribly, I could recreate it and do it again. Mm-hmm. Not that we would, but there's just that. I mean, there's that feeling that you could, but the pressure of them like being like, well, we spent $20,000 on our wedding, and the pictures turned out horrible. Is just that's something that
that's a guilt trip though.
Not that it ever would.
Yeah.
I don't think that it ever would. I think that if it would be fine. But like, yeah, no.
And this is crazy because you could get booked for a shoot and you don't like the pictures, but the client loves them.
Oh, I've had that happen all the time.
Really?
I've had it happen before where they're.
Hey man, if you're happy, you're happy.
And you feel like you got away with a crime.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you just kind of back away. Like, all right, cool. I'm glad you like them then.
Yeah, but you yourself, you're like, damn, that didn't go the way I thought it would.
Or it wasn't what I wanted. Mm-hmm. I felt that way about it. Well, you know what's funny about that is like it doesn't ever happen with the celebrity clients because those are really dialed in and we have a lot of help. So it's because there's some kind of budget or some kind of we can get the help, we can get the, I'm helping Steven or Steven, we're doing video only and he's doing only photos. That helps.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not like splitting your time.
That's so hard to do, man. It's one person, because it happens to me too in studios where they're like, yeah, well, we need pictures and video. Yeah. And then it's like you kind of like, it's hard because you kind of have to feel the room so that you're not missing that opportunity of like, man, I should have got that on video,
not photo.
And not photo. And you're like,
I think that's okay though. Like I don't think they would hold you to too much of a, hopefully not.
I've had a situation.
They're like,
you didn't get that on camera.
I got it on photo.
Yeah, I was like, but I got it on photo.
Doing both. I had that happen.
Oh man, they were not happy.
I lied. I lied to J-Lo's manager Benny.
Oh, please.
Because I didn't lie to him, but I mean it just was one of those things where I was doing video, and we were on set, and the choreographer was wearing heels to show her like how to do the choreography. But they were wearing the same outfit, like not the same outfit, but the same shoes.
Okay.
And for some reason, she was not wearing them at the time. She was Jennifer.
Okay.
And he's doing this crazy dance for her. And everyone was gathered around, and I'm doing video. And the fucking camera
turned off?
No, it just needed a new memory card.
Oh,
so
you
I'm
got
like,
full.
I'm popping the memory card out. And this is back before they had like the 2 slots. They only had 1 slot.
Yeah.
And she says something. Everyone laughs. Apparently he had said, he does this dance. And Benny looks at me and goes, well, so he does the dance. Jennifer says, yeah, but try doing that in heels. Mm-hmm. Or something like that.
And this is why you're changing.
And I'm popping the memory card in. Oh. And Benny looks over at me and he goes, you got that on video? And I'm holding it like this. And I'm like, yep. Like, I just was like, yes, I did. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I didn't get it. They didn't ask. They never ended up
using it, yeah.
I don't think they ever even used that stuff. But it was something where I was like, oh, God.
Man, that's tough.
Why me? but it's always the worst timing.
Yeah, wow.
And so if you're having to do two things at once,
It's hard, yeah. But it's like difficult. People don't want to pay, photographer and a videographer. They would rather have it for one person.
Right. Totally. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. It's a wild industry. It's the only industry where people can ask you to do things for basically for free. Get away with not paying you. Get away with using you for longer than 12 hours without a break.
Oh man, yeah.
Get away with and not everybody's like that. Not many people are wonderful, but it is interesting that it is one of those only situations where they can really get over on you. You can't do that anywhere else. You know what I mean? So it's just something where I've had to
learn.
You have to learn like your limits and what to say and how to
boundaries, how to reply back. Yeah.
Exactly.
With the experience, you learn more.
Exactly. Well, that's like it's something that I think a lot of people want to be a photographer. They want to be some kind of creative, and I don't think they realize all the
work.
Well, there's work, and then there's just a bunch of bunch of other things you got to deal with.
Yeah, because I know there's people that probably assume I make so much money just because I'm around all these celebrities, and you're just like, no,
right?
I don't make what you think I make,
right?
Yeah.
That's like a very common thing, though. I think that people assume you're doing better than you are.
Yeah, you're like, no, this is just what people show on Instagram. Like, right. You only know what
it's curated. It's not real.
Yeah. So I'm not really on. See, with the social media stuff, I kind of struggle with that too, because I feel like people don't care about a photographer's life, like whether if it's our personal life or. I just feel like, at least for me, I would get interactions only when it has to do with, maybe it's a female that barely has clothes on. Like, I had a shoot, and I got a lot of, feedback from that. And she was just wearing a lingerie type of thing.
Right.
And then I had a shoot with someone who was fully clothed, and they weren't, I didn't get the same reaction. Love on that. Yeah. Or if it's, let's say if I put a picture of myself and then I put a picture with me and Lucky Day, I would get more, oh, she's with Lucky Day. Mm-hmm. Or like when I did a reel based on the Grammys, like my experience, and I got a hella love on that. But if it's a shoot with somebody who's not in the industry, it's like, oh, here's 50 likes or like 10 likes.
Yeah. Versus,
oh shit, she went to the Grammys, here's 600 likes and a whole bunch of comments and like accounts that I didn't even know I followed. I'm like, or people that I forgot that I followed.
Yeah.
Because, the algorithm is weird on Instagram. So you're like, where did you come from? I haven't seen you like on none of my posts except for this one. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and I think sometimes when it starts to do well, then more people see it anyway. Yeah. Because that's the other thing. It's like, that's been difficult about Instagram in general is that, not everybody sees everything.
Yeah.
So if it does well, though, off the bat, then more of those people who don't traditionally see it.
We'll see it, yeah.
It's
messed up. That thing can get you.
Being someone who likes portraits, though, it's because I feel very similar. Like there's certain things about portraits. I do different styles of different things, but I do enjoy portraits too. Mm-hmm. But it's like they don't get nearly as much love as someone who's like half naked.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, it's the way
it's always been like that, but I don't know. It's kind of like when people say you don't show when you're sad or when you're mad, right? But there's some people who do show that they're crying on Instagram or, man, I lost my mom or whatever. Like, they'll share that.
Right.
But they still don't get the same amount of love versus when that person is happy.
Right.
So it's kind of like, how could you say, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, we're like a emotionally stunted society. We don't really know how to deal with anything that's not happy.
But life is not like that. It's not always perfect and stuff like.
But
so if somebody wants to share to be vulnerable and share that on social media in front of millions or thousands of whoever follows you, we should give them a lot more respect on that. Like, that takes a lot to do, to trust people. Like, well, this is me, I'm coming raw, like,
Right.
I'm gonna share to, you know, today it hasn't been a good day,
Right.
versus, yeah, I met Jennifer Lopez today, and you have like whatever.
Everyone's all excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, it's weird. Instead of appreciating, like, wow, you opened up, like, thank you for sharing your story. Yeah, because, you know, I'll get like, oh, you have such a great personality, you should show it more on Instagram. And just, I mean, for me, I just kind of feel like people are gonna care for that. Like I don't really know how to be in front of a camera. Like, even doing this,
Yeah.
I was like, man, I hope the camera doesn't bother me today.
It's something I
but
hate
it's
doing.
right there, so it doesn't really bother me because it's
Yeah.
in the corner, you know.
Kind of just forget
It's
about
not
it.
like right in front of me where
You're
like,
looking into the lens.
Yeah, like it doesn't get me nervous. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm good.
That's a much more difficult thing to do. Like when you're staring down the lens, like looking at it, talking. It's very like awkward. I
Is
don't
it intimidating?
Even like this,
I find it intimidating. Like,
it's and I watch people that like have to do like if they go on the news and stuff, and that's how it is. Like there's like
a news reporter.
Yeah, like or even just being interviewed for
okay.
anything or whatever, just in general. Like if it's a one-way interview where the other person's not there, you're basically talking to the lens. You might have a screen. Like if they're nice, they give you a screen of who you're talking to, but not always.
Okay.
So sometimes you don't even see who you're talking to; you just hear them. So you have to like.
Weird.
It's very weird.
That's
so you're
weird.
talking to a camera lens, which already looks. It's just there's nothing there to like grab onto. It's just a circle.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have hopefully the image of the other person, so you can kind of respond. But it's not like it's always like off to the sides. You kind of have to like watch it without watching it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very like it's not fun.
It doesn't. Yeah, I wouldn't think it is.
Yeah, that's not something you want to do.
Of course, no. I mean, no.
But at least with this, I hope it was a little bit more relaxed.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. That's what I'm
'Cause
saying. It's like it's not
a
in
little
front
bit more.
of.
I don't like being in front of the camera either.
Yeah, I kind of struggle with
So
that.
when I
It's
started doing
weird.
this, I was like, oh god.
But if like I don't mind if like let's say if you wanted to like you have a project and you're like, oh, you know, I would like Yams to be featured. If you give me direction, then I'll probably be cool with it.
Yeah.
But I would need it to be quick. Like I'm not trying to be there for 30 minutes. Like, okay, are you done? You got your picture?
Yeah.
Quick as possible. Like, okay, now I can
Relax. Go back to my day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a great way to leave it, I think. I think this is like a good... I've enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better.
Oh, yeah, of course. No problem.
I mean, a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, I was like, it's halfway through, and you're like, oh, yeah, and I went through this, and I'm like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, you know, I feel like people expect me to be more... I wouldn't say... I don't know if it's conceited or just, like, more proud. But, I'm talking super humble.
Yeah,
so
you're just how you are.
I don't really know how to be arrogant and be like, yeah, I went to the Grammys and yeah, like I'm the shit. Like I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, you don't need to do that.
I mean, that's why I feel like
it's probably better that you don't do that.
Yeah, and then a lot of people like that though. That I don't like I'm to myself, regardless of who I'm around. Like whatever celebrity I'm around, because then they notice that and they gravitate towards it. Like, oh, you're quiet, or like,
Yeah.
Hi. They'll introduce themselves to you, and you're like,
Well, and it's also
what?
like that's if you're who you are from the get go. If you stick to being who you are, you're not having to put on a front. You know, I think that would get exhausting too.
Yeah.
You had to invent like a character that when you're on kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like like with me being the way I am, I feel like that's why I get the opportunities I do get without even expecting it. Because sometimes people, you've heard of the term "closed mouth don't get fed," right? So, but at the same time, I kind of do feel like it does. Like you don't have to talk, but that's because of my experience. Like I don't really have to talk.
Yeah, but your work can speak for you.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't have that and you weren't doing that, you would have to find something else to speak for you or talk yourself.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know people that do that. They have things that they do now or their own versions of things that they do now that are not necessarily creative, but they're just, it's a way of getting themselves out there. But if you're, you know, if you're a songwriter, a musician, or a photographer or director or whatever, at least your work can speak for you. You don't have to do all the talking.
Yeah, I mean, but I think it could be also your personality, because you know, like they also say like hard work beats talent when the talent isn't there.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like, not saying that I'm not talented, but I feel like with my personality, since I'm so chill, or maybe easy to work with, that people would rather work with somebody like that versus
I think so.
a different type of personality. I don't know.
I think that's something that's like it's endearing to a sense, you know. It's something where people should appreciate being more laid back, as opposed to someone who's really high strung or really, you know, don't want to say diva, but like if they're being difficult to work with, because some photographers they can be, you know, they can be a little bit over the top.
I have never had that experience with meeting other photographers. Like, I've never seen them being over the top.
Yeah.
But I've heard stories of like if it's a model and she's like, yeah, I'd rather work with female photographers because the guys are creeps, or
that's so
they're
weird.
trying to
I find that so weird.
Slide into the DMs, or if they have my number, they'll try to go on a date with you, or like some shit like that. And
what?
just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. That's like stuff that's just like, to me, it's just so weird.
Yeah, especially if it's an older guy and the girl's like, I don't know, 25 and he's like 50 something. Like, no.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, no thanks, man.
So what would you want to tell anybody if you could say like one thing that defines you as a person?
I don't know, I guess the way I carry myself, character.
Yeah.
Your character.
That's what's important to you.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, you know, with me not being a loud person or taking on my phone and taking pictures of all these celebrities,
honesty,
it pays. Yeah, I feel like it does pay in the long run because they see that you're different. Like, oh, she's not like the other photographers. Because like there's some photographers that only shoot for the artist. Like, they won't take a picture of the producer. They won't take a picture of the songwriters or everybody in the room, where I do that, and I'll give, like, even if you don't pay me, if you like the picture, I'm going to send it to you. And I have gotten that before. Like, yeah, man, they expect for you to pay up and whatever, like charge you $50 for a picture. And you're just like, whoa, but I'm a part of the session. Like, what do you mean? You're like, oh, you know, I dig that. I'm kind of like, I don't know if you're saying that because you're getting a picture for free or if you're saying that because you really mean it. But that's just always been me. Like, I'm just kind of like, okay, cool. I don't expect for you to pay me if I'm already getting paid, if that makes sense. Or taking advantage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really
totally
do that. So, yeah, I would say character, the way you carry yourself.
That's great. I mean, why don't you tell everybody how to find you too?
Instagram is all I have. Got shot by her.
That's I always loved your name. Your name's sick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I get a lot of good compliments on it.
That was a great find.
I wanted it to be mysterious. Like, who's her?
Yeah.
Kind of like the artist, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, like, oh, Got Milk.
Yeah. I always thought your Instagram name was really clever.
It was Got Milk. You know when the Got Milk commercials, like, Got Milk, like milk is so good for your bones and stuff. I'm kind of like, got her? You got her? Got shot by her? Did you get shot by her? But I've been told to change it because it was too relatable to guns. And I'm like, yeah, but if you go on my page, you see I'm a photographer. Like, you're just hating on my name.
We don't need to be so dramatic.
Yeah,
we're adults. We can have. Come on, like, it's a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Do we need to change it to a photo session? Doesn't roll off the tongue as well. It's always been called session.
That sounds weird.
Yeah.
No.
It's always been a photo shoot. I don't even know where that came about. I guess because it's a point and shoot. Yeah, shooting the word shooting has always been in photography.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to relate to guns.
Right.
Like,
It doesn't. I mean, it's as much as it could be relating to anything else.
you kind of have to give them a resting bitch face where you're just like,
Okay. Noted, but rejected.
yeah. Like, really? You really going to say that when I clearly told you I'm a photographer?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But yeah,
It's just, it's people want to have an opinion about everything.
unfortunately.
All right. Well, tell everybody.
Do I look in the camera?
Yeah, you can say, hey.
Oh.
She loves looking in the camera. Got shot by her.
Got shot by her.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for
All
having
right.
me.
No, thank you. All right.